Hello, everybody. Excuse me, and make sure my camera is on. Yep. Hello. Good to see y'all. Excuse me if I'm going to the side because I have my computer here so I can see everybody's faces. But thank you so much for joining my workshop. I am so blessed by this because I've been contemplating doing this for a while. And as some of you know, I just finished my in-person workshop, but I had so many people asking like, well, when you going to do something virtual? Because I'm not even in Virginia. So I went ahead and took this opportunity to do something live. So I am so blessed by you all actually wanting to come and join in and learn. So I really hope that you guys are blessed by today's session, have some fun, learn some new things. So I still see some people joining. I know there are a couple of more people that's supposed to be joining, so I'm not going to jump in right away. But those of you that are on here, I know there were some ladies that um, came on that I actually don't know personally. So welcome. My name is Keelia. I do have my own decorating business, Keelia's Decor and Design. I do home decor, I do event decor. Of course, I do Christmas and all the things in between. And so I've been doing this, I guess, really since, well, professionally, since 2016. That's when I started my business, and it's been a blessing ever since. So I've had the opportunity to do many events and decorate many homes. So this is just an extension of what I've been doing within my business. So welcome to all of you. And hopefully at some point, I know some of you still have your cameras off. You don't have to have your cameras on. But at some point, I do want this, even though this is virtual, I wanted to feel, this was my goal. I didn't want, because my husband was saying, you should have just recorded while you're doing your workshop. And I said, well, I could, but it really wouldn't feel personal because it's like you guys just peeking through a window watching what's happening. And I'm really not interacting with you. So I wanted to do it this way. So that way you guys are able to talk to me. We can have feedback. I can answer questions. We can decorate together and all the things. So I really want you to feel free to ask questions, even while I'm going through. So I want you to feel comfortable to, hey, can you stop, slow down, start over? Because this is your time. You invested your time and your resources to learn from me. So if there's anything that you want to know, just let me know, okay? So, all right, so I think we have a couple on. There were a few more, but I'll give the couple more minutes, maybe like two. I'll give them a little bit of grace. So, and let them join them before I jump in. As far as decorating, have you guys started decorating yet? No, I'm seeing no. Okay. All right. Well, hopefully this will boost you up to get ready to start decorating. Don't feel bad because I actually just started too. Um, my
I got
tree
a
is
tree
ready, my
up,
12-foot tree. Oh, I see it. Yeah. Okay. Well,
but
you started at least.
I can't decorate it per se until after Thanksgiving. So
Oh, okay. Gotcha. So you like to hold off until after Thanksgiving.
yes, because everybody's like, don't skip over Thanksgiving.
But I saw a post someone said Thanksgiving is in the Christmas season. It's actually just part of the Christmas season. So, but yeah, I used to do that. But once I started decorating for clients, I usually try to get my tree up like probably around the first part of November. And when I was doing my YouTube stuff, I was doing a little bit earlier than that so I can have time to record, post, and all of that. But this year, I don't know, I've been a little slack. So I'm still decorating my tree. So I will get to it. I will get to it. So, but yeah. All right. So I think that, okay, it's about 4:04. So I don't want to wait too long because decorating actually takes some time. I was actually trying to keep these in my ear, but it's a distraction. Decorating the tree can be a little, it's a lot of steps. I know for some people it's throw the ornaments on, but for me, I do take a few steps. So we're going to go through every step. So, all right, so it's 4:05. We're going to go ahead and get started. So first things first, who fluffs their tree first? Who fluffs their tree before you decorate? You know what that is? Okay. You do it. Good, good, good. Because in my live in-person workshop, there was a couple of these, and I'm like, oh no, that's why your tree don't look as full as it could. Because when you don't fluff your tree, you have all these holes like that. And so you want to make sure that definitely you go in and fluff your tree. There is a way that I like to fluff. Now, usually when I'm putting my tree up, I do start like section by section. So like mine is in 3 parts, right? So when I put my bottom part on, I will go in and start fluffing. So that way I'm not fighting with all of this up here. So I start fluffing section by section. So I'll go in and let me just bring this over. I do my topper separately. We're gonna do that. I'm gonna turn that light off. It's creating a weird shadow. So for example, this is the top of the tree. So a lot of your trees, they have branches like this, right? So what I do, I like to go to the back. You want to go, now I know y'all may not want to do this, but I literally almost touch every branch on the tree. That's why I say for me, it's a little time consuming. You don't have to, but you just want to focus on any areas that seem like it's spacey. So when you do fluff your tree, you don't want to create it to where it's like just going straight out, because that gives you no coverage here. So even when you pull them apart, you don't want your branch to be flat. So you almost want to create like a star pattern. So you want to pull some up and out, you want to pull some down, up, out. So you really want it to go almost in every direction. So when you do this on every branch and your tree comes together, it's really going to create a full look. So you want your branch to almost look like this in almost every direction. Okay. So that's what you want to do first with your tree, is go through and fluff. So like I said, I like to start at my bottom first, especially when you have several different pieces to your tree. Start your bottom layer first, go around. Once you get that bottom part done, then you can go to the middle section and do that. Excuse me, I'm going to turn this light up because I don't like that lighting. Give me one. With this daylight savings time, it might look a little dark, but hopefully that helps. Looks like it did. Okay. Move this here. So yeah, so that's the first step. Go through, and then you always want to step back from the tree and look around, because when you're up on it, you may not see different holes. So like I have a hole here, so I definitely want to fill that in. And that's what I do. I go through the tree, start from the back near the center, like I said, and do your star pattern. And that will help close in those gaps. Okay. Do you all prefer decorating with artificial versus live?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
I do too. And I'll tell you why, because with live trees, the only downside, well, outside the maintenance, the one of the main downsides is you can't really manipulate the branches. So it's like once they are in there, you kind of have to work with whatever shape you have. And then also you have to use a lot of wiring to even put like your ribbons in. So you have to use a whole lot more wiring to insert your ribbon. So you really have to wire everything. One of the pluses about using artificial, this is your wire. The branch is your wire. And I use this branch like I would use wire. This branch helps me hold my ribbon, any decor I have, because I'm able to bend it and it will hold whatever I have on here. So especially my ribbon. Sometimes if I, want to, I will use wiring in my ribbon, just to create it, but to put it inside the tree, not necessarily, because this branch is my wire, So that's why I like to use artificial over the live, because it does help you manipulate, create your shape the way that you want, and definitely more versatile. So, and I want to say hello. I see Bernetta. Welcome, Bernetta. I'm not sure. I don't think I know you personally, but let me know, how did you find out about the workshop? I saw a couple of names I actually didn't recognize. So that's such a blessing to have new people come along. So also, I didn't say, you guys, please feel free to use the chat to communicate. You are welcome to come off the mute and also communicate with me there as well. And Miss Kim, I didn't even say, hey, I've been looking at your face the whole time. Hey, sis. I'm so blessed to have you. So glad you was able to join, of course. So I can't wait to see what you're gonna do with your tree. I need pictures.
Okay, we'll figure it out if it goes up.
Oh Lord. Okay, you holding all the tips for next year.
That's it.
Possibly. Okay, okay. All right. So awesome. So glad you're able to join in. So awesome. All right. So that was the first step, you guys. So go ahead and make sure that you go through, fluff your tree, stand back, make sure you don't see any large holes or anything like that. That's the first thing that I always do, is fluff the tree. Let's see. Oh, awesome. Well, I'm so glad you decided to come on and be a part of my workshop. So thank you for joining. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And hopefully at the end of all of this, I didn't get a chance to reach out to my in-live participants, but I do want to send out, and just be on the lookout, I'll be sending out a survey towards the end of the session in the next couple of days. I would love your honest feedback because this is my first. So of course I want to learn what I can do better, what can I bring to you that you want to know more about other than tree decor. Do you want to know how to do a fireplace mantle, or how to create a beautiful centerpiece for your table? Whatever it is, I would love to know your honest feedback, what you've learned and what I can do better. So stay on the lookout for that. I have everybody's email, so I'll make sure to get that to you. So again, thank you so much for joining. All right, so after we go through fluffing the tree, of course, if you don't have a pre-lit tree, don't forget to put on your lights. Funny story. I'm so used to my tree because I have a pre-lit tree. So I just plop my pieces in and then I plug in, trees lit, I'm good. I was doing the client's tree, not thinking, I'm just going in, fluffing, get my ribbon, putting on the ornaments. And I'm like, there is no lights on this tree. So I had to, go back and take stuff off and redo. So please make sure to put your lights on your tree. Definitely check them first before you put them on. I've had that happen too. Put lights on my tree and half of the strand wasn't working. So always do that. So I'm going to grab some and I'm going to just, I know everybody knows how to put lights on your tree, but there is something that I like to do that I believe that helps with coverage on your tree. So I'm going to start with it without being lit first. So how many of you kind of walk in a circle around your tree, putting the lights on?
Mine is pre-lit, so I don't.
Oh, okay. All right, Shalita, I'm going to show you something that's going to help you so you're not walking in circles around your tree, and then it's actually even easier to help you take your lights off. Because I know that's can be a headache too, trying to go back around and take them all off. So something that I do, if I can find the end of this strand, I did test this before, so prayerfully it don't want to act up because I'm on live and then don't light. So so what I actually like to do, I do, well, a couple of things. I like to go up and down, and while I'm going in the up and down pattern, kind of tuck in and come out, tuck in, come out. So you're almost doing an in-out pattern. And you can do that all up and down as you go around the tree. So it looks something like this. Of course, I don't have my proper one, but so I'm coming to the outside of the tree. Can you guys see well? Outside. And then I'm going to take it inside. Outside. And it almost kind of zigzagging too. Take it to the inside. And it doesn't have to even be perfect. You know, as long as you're taking it to the inside of the tree, to the outside of the branch, and you can kind of wrap around as you go. And back up so you guys can see. I'm going in. I'm kind of just randomly maybe going like a zigzag around the outside of the branch. I'm going in, coming back out, going around this branch, may loop it. So after you do that, you keep going in this pattern all the way around your tree. Now I'm going to just plug it in just so you can see how that looked just with a little bit that we did. Let's see how it will show on screen. You can see. So you can already see it's very full with lights. And you're going in and out of the tree. And that's something that definitely helps because when you're taking it in the tree, it gives the light that it's not just sitting on the outside, it goes inside. So it kind of draws your eye inside the tree. So definitely going like that. And then you can create the same look. I'm just gonna twist it. You can create the same look going in a similar pattern. See if I can twist it some more. Okay. Another way, doing the same thing, but going from side to side in a zigzag. Push it in, bring some out, go up under, push it in. If you want a really nice lit tree, you know, if you look at the pre-lit trees, they are very filled with the lights. You get a nice coverage with your light. So I'm doing basically the same thing, except I'm just going from side to side. Going inside the tree, bringing it out towards the edge of the branch, and you can wrap them like here. You can just do like a wrap around. And so you still get a nice coverage. Okay. So adding the lights, doing it that way. Yes, you may use a little bit more light than you typically would, but the finished product will look very nice with more light. So any questions so far with the fluffing and putting the lights on? Yes, ma'am. You're muted.
So does the size of the bulb matter? And the reason why I'm asking is because I have the really big ones like this
Oh, uh-huh.
in the circle. Do you think it's gonna be have the same effect as doing the in and out, as you going, up and down? Or should I go?
I would still do, you may not want to do maybe as many just because the bulb is bigger, but still you want to take your bulbs in and out the tree because you want your eyes to kind of go in. You don't just want just the outside of your tree lit. You want to see some lights inside. So when you do that, still do that pattern, tuck it in, make sure there are some out. You may not have to do it as close, um, but you definitely, I would say definitely take some in and out in your when you're putting the lights in. And then, step back, take a look at it and see, do you want it to look full with lights? Or, a little bit more spaced out. You can determine how close, you do your pattern. You may want to do it a little bit wider, because you have bigger bulbs. So, but either way, still use that pattern and take some lights inside the tree. Yeah. Anybody else? Any other questions? I see we have another lady joining. This was another young lady that I saw join. And I would love to know. Welcome, Miss Katina Boyd. Welcome, welcome.
Hello. I'm so sorry I'm
Hi.
late. I had 4:30 on the brain.
Oh, you are okay. We are just getting started. Thank you so much for joining. I was just sharing a few minutes ago. I noticed there were a couple of people that I don't know personally. So thank you so much for deciding to join in on this workshop. How did you find out about the workshop?
I saw it online.
Okay, awesome, awesome. I just always want to see like how did travel and get to certain people. So I'm so glad you decided to join. So I really hope that you enjoy the workshop.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you, thank you. So we just got started really. The only thing that we covered, number one, fluffing your tree and how to do that. Do you usually fluff your tree before you start?
Yes.
Okay, so I was saying I had in my live workshop, there were a few ladies that was looking like, wait, what? Fluff? I was like, oh my goodness. So that's always good to know that you already know how to do that. As I was sharing with them, of course, when you're fluffing your tree, I just go through a couple of tips. I always like to start because I have I think it's a 7.5 foot, but it's 3 sections to it. So I would do my bottom section first. And when I do fluff, I go in, I literally almost touch every branch and almost create a star pattern with each branch. So you get a nice full coverage. So I work my way up doing that. So, but yeah, that's what we were talking about. And we're also going over lights, how to place lights. And I was demonstrating to the ladies that um, some people, they go in the circle around your tree, and then you have to redo all of that when it's time to take it down. But I found an easier way and a more effective way to add lights. And so I was just showing the ladies that you can go in an up and down pattern with your light strand. And while you go in that pattern, you want to go bring it out, in, bring it out, or you can go from side to side. And the same thing, take some of your lights in, bring them out to the edge of your branch. You can wrap it, take it back in. So you get a nice full coverage with your lights. So that's always good. And if you have any questions at any point of the workshop, feel free. I want this to be as if we are in person. So let me know if you have any questions, if I need to repeat anything. We also have our chat, so you can put questions there as well. So again, thank you so much for joining. So, all right, so we're gonna go ahead and go to the next step. I'm gonna turn my lights off for now. And I will make sure I don't step on these. So I'm just gonna kind of put these in the tree for now. Okay. So the next thing after I've fluffed my tree, did my lights, now I like to work with my topper. I like to bring my topper down just like this. You can use anything you have. It's just sitting on the cart in a little bin right now because it gives me full access to how I can decorate. Some of you may have saw some of the notes, like my sis here, Shalitha, she is decorating with me. I said, if you wanted to decorate, this would be a great opportunity for you to do that. We also have a wreath session a little bit later. So I don't know if you all were able to get wreaths, but just going over some of the basics on that. All right, so grab my ribbon. Do you all use ribbon? Let me know in the chat. Do you all use ribbon on your tree? And if so, are you confident in how you use your ribbon?
I use it. I'm not confident in how it's being used.
Well, look, I did ask and you were being honest, so.
I've
Anybody else?
used it, I've made like bows and try to do the ribbon coming down, like
Yeah.
the, kind of like how you were doing the lights. But I
Mhm.
want to try different like bows kind of, so I can start filling spaces.
Yeah.
Try to learn work with those and cluster and ornament clusters. Those are not my friend.
Ornament clusters are so, it looks harder than it really is. So yeah, we'll definitely go over some of that as well. Make sure I have that. So one thing when it comes to making bows, there are so many different ways, and something that I shared when I did my live, it was probably the most hilarious part of the whole in-person session because the ladies they was having a hard time getting that bow together. And we kept trying and trying, but they finally was able to get it. So it made me think, I said, well, maybe we should just start very simple and then work our way up. So I'm going to show you simple way to do a bow. And then we can go over like how to layer and make a more bigger, fuller bow with a little bit more dimension. So as I mentioned, with making bows, I like to use different sizes. Doesn't matter what size you want to start with, but I like to use different sizes, different patterns. So this is probably like 5 inch. This is a really, really big, and you don't have to go this wide. But if you really want it to pop, you can get 5 inch ribbon, or you can do, I think this is a 4, what's this one? 2.5. 2.5 ribbon. This is also about 2.5. Yep. And then I don't think I brought it over, but you can also do like a smaller 1.5 inch ribbon. And I really love when you use the smaller width ribbon with the wider, it just really makes your bow stand out and pop. So we're gonna start with something really simple. Well, I say simple. Now I'll see what you guys say. Awesome. Okay. So I'm going to start with, actually, let me start with my small one. Excuse me, one sec. I left my smaller. Somewhere. Of course, it's always something that's missing, but it's all good. We're going to keep moving. It's still going to come out the same. So I'm going to go ahead and start with, we'll start with the 2.5. Do you guys do themes each year with your colors, or are you kind of, yeah, you like to switch it up? It's probably I mean, I love switching mine up, but when I say I have so much Christmas decor, it's kind of sad, but I'm always adding new colors and all of that. Yep. So how about the rest of you? Do you like to switch up your colors each year, or do you have like a standard color that you like to stick with?
I alternate each year. So
What's your
between
color?
two, I do a red and gold one year, then I alternate the following year to a silver and gold. So one of these days I'll
Okay.
pop out into a different color. I haven't gotten there yet.
Yeah. Pop something else in that red. What about the rest of you ladies? What do you like to do for your Christmas decor each year? Do you stick with something, or you have you like to play around with color? Or y'all
I'm,
can use
um,
the chat. Go
I'm,
ahead.
I done got myself in trouble, so I have lots of stuff. So last year was Snow White, so it was all
Oh,
white.
nice.
This year is nutcrackers and candy canes.
Oh, that you know what? And I've never done, you would think I probably would have touched on some of those. I've never done a candy cane thing or a nutcracker thing. I've never done it. And I have kids, but to be honest, all of my themes have been like all elegant, classy, non-kid like friendly. But I've never done those things. And I keep saying, one day I'm just gonna do something fun and out the box, but it hasn't happened yet. And that would require me to buy more stuff. So I'm probably good just sticking with what I got. Awesome. Renee, she says she's a photographer, so she do about 4 different things. Okay, awesome. Awesome, awesome. But yeah, I like to switch up stuff. And like this year, I'm using a color I've actually never used, which is I guess you say pink blush. And my theme, of course, I do different color themes every year. I try to just come up with something different. And so my tree is very pastel. I have soft green, soft blue, and blush, and then like iridescence. Um, different. Still playing with it, still not done. So we'll see how it turns out. So all right, so like I said, if you have ribbon, you are more than welcome to play along. So what I like to do, if you want to just start with something simple, I like to leave a few inches at the top, probably about, I don't know, 6, 7, 8 inches, something like that. And just kind of pinch it together. And you can decide, some people, they like a slanted cut or like a little dovetail. We can do that later. I can show you how to do that. And when you get your pinch, almost want to just kind of do like a little pinch pleat. And then you can bring a loop up to meet your pinch. So bring it up to meet your pinch, and then you're just going to gather that. You're pinching it and bringing it all together. So you're pinching it. If you want to just do a simple single loop, this is what you can do. So this one loop. So I like what I call a dovetail. So what I do, I put it together, cut from the folded down at an angle. That's going to give you your cute little end there. And I will bring that up. Let me bring this over so y'all can see. Okay. And I will bring that up. I will start my bow just with one loop. As again, this is one of the benefits of having an artificial tree, because this is your wire. You don't necessarily have to use wire unless you want to, but this is your wire. So I will use one of these branches and wrap it around my ribbon. Make sure it's in there nice and tough and snug. And this is just a simple start to what you can do. And you can do several of the simple one loops, take them in different directions. And then from here, of course, you can do a pinch. Can you guys see that? Sure. Same thing. Now, when you're working with ribbon, I know sometimes I've seen people almost like it's so tight within the tree, like there is no fun to the ribbon because it's like so tucked, so tight. I like to make my ribbon pop off the tree. So you almost want to shape the ribbon, let it come out from the tree. And then again, I would do that little pinch pleat. Go in there and grab another branch. Take it kind of inside because you don't want it to be right here on the outside. Take it to the inside. Wrap that branch around the ribbon. That's going to hold the ribbon in place. And then once you do that, you can just kind of go back through and let that ribbon pop there for you. So you see how that's just already coming together. Just one simple loop. Okay. You can do that a few more times. You can go all the way down if you like. When it comes to ribboning, it's really what you're feeling in the moment. There is no wrong way or right way. But that is just a simple way to start. So one loop, you can do, I don't know, 3, or you can do 5, or how many you want to do at the top and work your way down. And it's just as simple as that. So I'm going to demonstrate a few of those just using your one loop. So I will, take that down. Again, you can do your slant cut, or you can do another, what I like to call dovetail. So sometimes I still get it wrong when I cut. So you want to cut from the folded side down at an angle. All right, and then we'll just tuck that. Once we put it up, I'll show you how to do that. All right, so I'm going to do a couple more of those so we can see what it looks like with just one simple loop. And like I said, the ladies at the workshop, they were really struggling because I was doing a combined type bow. And I think for some of the ladies, it was like too much for their fingers to handle at once. So same thing. I went ahead and did my little dovetail cut. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to grab that ribbon, do a nice little loop, pinch it, bring it together. Now, if you wanted to make it more stable, you can always use a little pipe cleaner, or you can get some floor wire. I'm going to use this just so you can see. But like I said, this is not necessary unless you just want to do that. But I'll just wrap that around here, around the bow. Make sure you get a nice tight twist. And you can use this if you're using it on something else, your wreath or stairs or something, you have that to connect it to. Again, not necessary, but you want to. Now, as you see, I'm going at a different angle, right? This one is going up. I'm taking it slightly at an angle, so it kind of gives that illusion of a bow. But it's really just going to be a whole lot of single loop bows. I'll take that pipe cleaner, wrap it down. I would normally cut the excess off and let the tail just go whatever which way it wants to go. You can play with it. And then same thing. I want to do a nice little loop, pinch it, and tuck it in. And the bow kind of tells you which way the ribbon kind of tells you which way it wants to go. It kind of has a movement to it, so you just kind of go with it. So I'll go in there and tuck that in there. Okay. I'm going to do the same thing with my cut. All right. And I do like to work in, so if I'm going to do depends on what kind of bow I'm going to do, but I'm going to show you another bow that we can add into this. So since we are going to do different ones, I'm just going to do 3. So it gets a nice coverage up here at the top. Oh, See, that's what I mean. If you don't do it the right way, I almost did it again. Another thing about ribbon. Want to make sure you're getting wired ribbon, okay? Because you're going to fight and you're not going to get the same effect without wired ribbon. So whatever ribbon you use, make sure it's wired so it keeps the shape of whatever you're doing. It's going to keep the shape. Okay. So I'm going to do this one more time. Same thing. Create a nice little loop. And what I'm doing, I just stick it right between my pointer, middle finger. And I like to do like a little twist here, especially when you're working with two-sided ribbon. You want to make sure that if it has like a design on it, you want to make sure that your design stays on top. So that twist becomes very important. But with the ribbon like this, it's basically the same on both sides. It's not completely necessary to really worry about that. So, all right, so I'm going to bring mine. Again, I just kind of let it go whichever way it wants to go. Same thing, nice little loop, twist it around the branch, let the branch work for me. And so far, that's what we have just by using single loops. How you doing, Shalita? I see your face, girl, you're working hard. Let me see what you got. Okay, yes, I love that. Yeah, and I love the way it's flowing. You have it flowing, a nice flow there. So yeah, awesome. Any other questions before we go on? Anybody?
I just have a quick question. So if you're using two colors, like she was using two colors, I couldn't quite see, is she using them side by side or is she layering the colors?
Did you layer them on top of each other while you were doing it at the same time? You did one by one, Shalita.
I did one by one. And
Oh,
so as I played with it, then I kind of, it kind of just fell into place. I still did what she
mhm,
did was like I went one direction with the red and then I went a different direction with the gold. But then I
mhm.
just kind of brought them together. And they just happened to fall
Trying to
and
fall
go like that.
together.
Mhm. And then
Yeah,
I used the same branch to connect them here.
got it. Awesome. So I said, you really, I mean, when it comes to how you want your ribbon to flow, you just kind of go with it. And, whatever that you like, if you like the way it's flowing, go with it. Because it's your tree. So I'm just only giving you tips and tricks on what I do. But definitely you can do that. And then I will show you also with working with two ribbons, how you can create a nice bow. I'm sorry.
I'm gonna take this
Okay.
one out. So I want to do the red, white, green. Okay.
Yeah, so you can definitely play and alternate with your colors. You can definitely do that. So that's with just one single loop. We have something full. This is where a wider ribbon does help if you want to just do a simple bow and still get a big pop or illusion of a pop. A wider ribbon will help you do that, so you don't have to use as much. Okay, so now we're going to take it to the next level. Okay, I'm going to show you how to layer your ribbon. It's really the same thing, except you're having to use two ribbons. Now, if you want to use the ribbon together, you can, but I prefer to do it separately. Okay. Why did this? Oh, here it is. Okay. So now I want to layer some of my color. So tell you what, let's use, usually I will have like a smaller ribbon. I don't know where mine ran off to, but we're still it's still the same process. Okay. All right, so I'm gonna use 2 ribbons. So when you're getting ribbon, once you have like your theme, your color scheme, I like to go with something that has a little bit of a pattern. Don't know if you're able to see that. It's really close, but this almost have like a little sparkle polka dot pattern. Yep, so if you have a nice pattern there, I like to go with a solid. Okay. And this is just like a satin ribbon. And then of course this gives me still a little bit of a shine. So you can use 2 different types of patterns that complement each other. Yep. And then you just want to make sure that they complement with color, and then you can just add pattern with your ribbon just to bring out some dimension. So I'm going to do the same thing with my ribbon. So still gonna leave some at the top. I'm gonna pinch. Okay. Same thing, we're going to bring that loop up. Now, this ribbon, it's solid on one side, my pattern's on this side. So if I was to do like a loop, I don't want this side to show. I want my pattern side to show. So this is where what I call a hard twist comes into play. I lay my ribbon right between my middle finger, pointer finger. I kind of hold it there. And this is what I do. I do a twist, a nice tight twist to bring your pattern back to the back on top. Now, I'm going to do the same thing, create that loop and bring it right back to the middle. Okay, I'll go ahead and pinch it. I'm going to go ahead and take that piece that I did the twist on, but I'm going to go ahead and bring it all together. So now I have this. You should have this. Okay. Same thing. Now we can stop here if you want to. You can do a 2 loop bow, but I always kind of like to play with an odd number. So again, I want my pattern to be on top. So I'm going to twist it. Okay. Same thing, we're going to make that loop, bring it back to the middle. Once you have it there, you do that hard twist. And I just kind of, after I do that twist, I just, release it so I can bring it all together. So now I have a 3 loop bow. Everybody got it? Okay. What I want to do here, I will go ahead and cut my end. It doesn't matter if you want to do a little dovetail, you can just do it at an angle. That's always nice too. Now I don't want your fingers hurting. So if you have wire, or if you have your pipe cleaner, you can go ahead and twist this off. And we're going to go ahead and wrap that around. Now, typically I will keep going. I'll just pick up where I left off with my new ribbon, but for the sake of this video, I want to make sure that everybody's able to get it. So we'll just do a nice twist with the pipe cleaner. And this can be where you leave it. Just a nice 3 loop bow. Okay. But I want to take it up a notch. So I want to add my blue to this. Any other questions, ladies? I see my sister or my mom is here. Hey, Mom. I was trying to get in touch with my sister. I don't see her. Everybody say, hey, Mom, Kim.
Hey, Mom, Kim.
I'm glad you was able to join. She probably struggling trying to get her phone together. All right, so we got that. All right, so did you get did you twist it off, Shalita? Or you still, okay, awesome. So now you want to get your second ribbon. All right, we're gonna do the same thing. Now, does your green ribbon, is that wired? Okay.
I got a red one, no, I can do the red one.
Okay, let's try the red one because again, the wires is what's gonna help. You can still use it, it's just not gonna, you're not gonna be able to shape it like you want. So we can go ahead and do the same thing. So for the sake of the video, let's do the same thing and we can connect it after we make it. So after you have your piece here, same thing, we're gonna do the twist. And I like to kind of smooth my ribbon so it gets a nice loop. Twist. Same thing. And let's go big. Let's make 5 loops.
Ooh.
Yeah. Let's stretch ourselves. We know the basics now. We're just going back and forth. Once you get the looping and once you know, twist, it's really easy to kind of keep going. The hardest part is just holding it right here, holding it all together. But once you get that looping, it's pretty easy to go from here. Now, another thing, if you want to create like from your bow, if you want 2 strands to hang from your bow, I know we have one up here, but if you want to create like a symmetrical bow with 2 strands hanging on the side, what I do, I just make a really long loop and bring that loop. I just make a really long loop here. This is going to create those 2 strands that you know you usually like to see on the bow. And I go ahead and bring that up. And I'm gonna go just use another pipe cleaner so you guys can see what I'm doing. So I don't know if you saw that, Shalita, I was saying if you wanted to create, you know how you see the strands hanging from the bow? You can do that by making a really long loop. And then we'll just tie it off. Same thing, just wanna make sure you hold what you pitch together really tight. I pull my pipe cleaner between my fingers. So I like to make sure it's really, really tight. Okay. And with this long, now this one that's still connected, you can cut it wherever you want. I will make it a little bit shorter since the one at the top is a little bit shorter. So I'm gonna try to make it similar to that. All right. And then with my long one, if you want it to be the same size, you can. I always kind of like a little asymmetrical thing going. So I just cut it at an angle. And then when you have your bow, this is what you have, right? You can cut it the same as you like, but I kind of like to mix it up. So when you have your 2 bows together now, all we have to do now, like I said, once you get the gist of how to loop your bows, you can do it all at the same time. And I'll show you that a little bit later. You can do that all at the same time. Or if you feel more comfortable doing the pieces separately, you can do that. Using pipe cleaner or wire definitely helps. So all you gotta do is now bring your 2 pieces together. I'm just pulling my top bow to the back.
To the back.
Yeah. So all I did, I put my top on the front and I got my pipe cleaner, pulled it to the back, and I'm just going to twist it all together. Okay. And then once you have it together, now we just want to pop these loops, shape them, put them where you want them to be. And again, you can make it as big or as full as your heart desire. So it's no right or wrong way. Just go with what you feel and the look that you want to accomplish. And so you should have something that ends up looking like this. So this is why I say, you know, something with pattern, something with just like a solid color, a nice satin ribbon. You can go with another pattern. Of course, like I said, I typically will even have a smaller, thinner ribbon, like a 1 inch that really gives some dimension to your bow. So you could definitely do that. So once we have this, what you've done to your top with these simple 1 loop bows, now it's going to make it look like you've done something completely different when you add this in here. You can bring it up next to one of your loops. So like where you've done your loop, the area where it connects, you can bring that right in there. Use your twist ties or just use the branch and bring that right in the center. And now it looks like you've created this very intricate type bow, and you've really only done some simple loops and you've just connected them all. So now you have something that looks like this. You got it? What you need, Shalita? So you got your bow, you connected them together, right? Yep. So now that's beautiful. So now you will go ahead and add that. So where you connected your ribbon in your tree, right? And like where you have like where it meets your branch, that's where you will connect it. So it looks like it's coming from where you connected it from. And you can do maybe 3 of these and pop them in here and you will get a nice topper for your tree. Any questions, any thoughts? I want some feedback. Let me know. Do you think that's an easy technique, ladies? Do you have a technique that you like to use? I want to hear from you.
I have a technique now.
Praise the Lord. Good, good. I want to see that bow.
I will, if I don't put a tree up, I would definitely try to make a bow.
Okay,
And I
well,
will
cool,
send you a
cool.
picture.
Yes, thank you. Thanks, Mom. I want to hear your voice, Mom. Come off the mute. Say hello to everybody. And don't say you don't know how to come off mute. Where you at? I see your
about
face.
be creative on another end. But hopefully I'll be able to make that
There you
bow. I was
go.
trying to watch and drive at the same time.
Oh, okay. You were froze, so I didn't hear the first part.
Oh, I was out and about, so I'm trying to be
Oh,
creative too right now with something else.
okay,
So,
gotcha. You
but it's
shopping.
beautiful.
Thanks, Mom. Glad you was able to join.
I know
Awesome.
Tasha was trying, so I'm not sure if she's going to come on.
Okay. Awesome. Anybody else? Any feedback? What's your bow techniques? Was this helpful? I want to hear from some of the other ladies. What do you think? Or do you have other techniques that you use? Miss Katina, Miss Brunetta, I want to hear from you too. Was this helpful? Was it a little bit too difficult? I'm going to do this again. We're going to create another one. And the chat's always open as well, so you can give me feedback in the chat. And I know some of you are probably, like my mom, doing other things while you're watching. I am so glad that you're able to join. Well, you can be good, Miss Cantina. This is where I'm helping. Simple loop bows, and it's really just getting that technique of being able to create that loop and then connecting it and then redoing it all over again. So once you get that technique, and sometimes it's just how you're placing your fingers is the hardest thing. But once you get that simple technique, just like I said, we started off with this one loop bow, and then you just repeat that and you can get something easy. So I'm going to just do this again so you all can see. I'm going to pinch, right? Create a nice little loop here. Once I get it here, I'm holding it between my middle finger, pointer finger, and I'm just going to twist. Again, this is not totally necessary, but definitely gives the bow, make it more sturdy. Doing the same thing. And I think I did 3 on the blue. No, I did 4, 5. So doing the same thing. And when you're doing this, don't concentrate on trying to shape the bow, because sometimes you kind of get lost on where you were holding your bow, and before you know it, you kind of lost your place. Just think about just going back and forth, doing that figure 8. That's really what it is, like a figure 8. And we'll shape it after you get your loops in. Okay, I'm short on my ribbon, so I'm just gonna stop there on this one.
Keelia, like this?
Yes, that looks
Yep.
good. Yeah, you've attached it to your topper, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, that looks awesome. Yeah.
I've been over here fighting. Because you just said what I was dealing with. This, you said don't shape it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Because what happens is you kind of lose what you were pinching, and you will end up letting go of what you should have been holding to, and then the bow ends up falling apart. So, all right. Now I'm gonna do same thing. I'm just gonna do, well, I don't want to cause any confusion, so let me go ahead. I was gonna show you how I create the bow without doing separate pieces. So we're gonna keep it simple. We're gonna start here today. So once we get that, again, you wanna make sure you hold everything in place. Do a really hard twist so this doesn't come undone. And then I'm gonna go back. I think we only did 3 loops on here. Okay. Once we do that, I'm just gonna add this on here. Yeah, and then once you do those, a couple of those, again, you know, I think using the wider ribbon definitely will give you a lot of dimension to your bow. Same thing, once you get it all together, now you can shape it. And I'm just going to find a spot. Since we're going to be, I'm going to do it closer together, so when we start doing the other things, you can see it. You can just kind of go in, play with it, get the shape that you want, and you should end up with something nice and full. Okay. So from here, and like I said, I like to pretty much do my topper first. You can stop here if this is all you want. Some people, how many of you still use like the star or like the little angel? You do? You don't have to be shamed. It's all right. You can, so if you wanted to, whatever you want to do, whether it's picks or star, whatever you want to use, this creates a nice base. So you can go something simple up here and have your pop with your bow. What I like to use, I'm a pick person. I love florals and things like that. So Let me see. Another tip when it comes to picks, I like to be smart because I buy a lot of Christmas stuff. So I do try to be frugal with my spending. If you like florals like this, I like to buy the bunches because you get several stems versus buying per stem. You sometimes could save quite a bit by getting the bunches, and then you just get a heavy duty wire cutter and cut them. So now you have your floral stems. Okay. So that's one tip I like to use when it comes to floral stems. I'm going to grab a couple of those. Okay. So I will do that. You can add any type of stems you can do, whether it's floral or something like Shalita. You have like the candy canes. I just saw those at Hobby Lobby. That's where you got those. So, no,
Don't laugh.
I'm not laughing.
This lady was selling her whole tree for $100, all the decorations and everything. And I ran to her house and gave her $100 bill and took off running. She
Are
gave me
you
the
serious?
tree, the skirt, the whole nine. So
That's a deal. Those are just those are at a Hobby Lobby. I just bought those for a client. Wow, that was a great deal. Tree and the decor for 100. Yep. You can buy a tree for just 100. So that was that was a really good deal. So definitely like picks anything that she has. Again, I like floral, so I got this from Michael's. It has like some beaded work on it. You can do anything that you like. Another tip that I like to do, shop either after the season, especially if you kind of have an idea of the theme. Wait till after the season when the stuff goes on sale, stock up then. Also, I like to shop in like other seasons, especially if I'm looking for floral. For example, and I'll show you more of this later. These are just plain eucalyptus stems. These make the tree to me. I like a natural, organic type tree, but any kind of greenery or picks that you can get to add more dimension in your tree, it really makes your tree pop. So any greenery picks that you can grab, even like from spring, summer floral, that's just some really nice greenery. If that's the look you're going for, you can definitely grab those. Another example, I grabbed these. I forget the name of what these are called, but these were from Halloween. Now they were with like the black stuff, but if you look closely, you probably can't see on here, but it's almost like a gunmetal gray, but paired up with the blue, it kind of comes off with a hint of blue. I will use stuff like this on my tree, and I'm going to show you how I could use different things like that. So you can really shop all throughout the year for different pieces that you can add to your tree. Okay. So, like I said, it's up to you. We can stop here with the bow, or you can add in your pieces. I'm just going to grab a few. Okay. So I really love these. I'm actually using these on my my 12-foot tree this year as well. So it's these almost like little fern type leaves, but they have some glitz and glam to them. And another good thing when you're using stems, give them a little bend because when you stick them inside, it kind of creates some security. Let me make sure you guys can see what I'm doing here. Okay. So I'm going to come in at the top. And this is another great benefit of working with your topper. without it being on the tree, so you can really see what you're doing. You should make sure you secure it tightly. Okay. I like to work with, again, odd numbers, but you can add whatever you like to make it look full. You may not be able to see all of this right now, but once we put everything up, you should be able to see what it looks like. So any stems, do you all like to use floral stems in your trees, ladies, or do you just usually go with like just the ornaments or ribbon?
I saw one of your trees one year and I started using floral stems in mine after seeing one of yours. So
Oh,
yes.
awesome. I love adding the floral stems. I think it just adds something new and different to it. So yes, I do. I definitely like using floral. Maybe a little bit more than some people, but I do enjoy using them.
It makes your tree more full too.
It
Just look
does.
better. It makes it bigger as you add stuff that even a small tree look huge if you add it the
Yeah,
right way and the right type of stem.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, all right. This top is I'm trying to work with it sitting in this bin and she's fighting against me. So maybe adjust it so I can make sure I'm getting this in the center. Okay. And if I wanted to stop here again, it's personal preference. If I wanted to stop there, I could, but again, I like floral. Same thing, kind of curve it a little bit. You're able to kind of work the stems in here. Make sure that doesn't fall. Okay. And you just put in whatever you like, but again, I like to work with numbers just to make sure I get a nice coverage. So you can stop here if you like. You want to. I kind of like, I can be a little over the top a little bit sometimes, depending on what I'm doing. So me, I will probably keep adding. So I am. I have some other, I think any picks that have sequence, glitter, or anything, gems, definitely help your tree pop. It's gonna help illuminate a little bit more light, just to have a little bit more sparkle. So I'm gonna add these here. And when you're working with picks, you do wanna, usually when you get them, they're all kind of smushed together like this. So you wanna open them up so they have some movement. Okay. And then I'll probably add one more to the back. And I would say that would be a good start for my topper. And once I put it up on the tree, I can play with it a little bit. I'm not sure how much you guys will be able to see, but let's see. You're able to see some of it. You guys able to see that? All right, excuse me while I step in front. This is where I kind of shape these pieces that were left, I can let it hang or softly tuck it inside the tree. I'll let it do its own thing. But again, keeping the top part of your tree down and doing it separate definitely helps versus trying to stand on a ladder. I've done that for so long. Don't know why. I think it was when I got my 12 foot is when I finally got like, do the top of the tree first, because stand on the ladder trying to do a 12-foot tree is no fun. So this is where we could start. So beautiful topper, simple loops, couple of bows, some picks, or like I said, if you don't even want to add picks, you have a star, you can do that. It's really up to you and your personal preference. So awesome. All right. Any questions? I see Miss Bernetta said floral. Yeah, I definitely love floral too. All right. Any questions? Anything else you guys want to add while we are talking about the topper? All right. Awesome. So glad that it's helping you. All right. So now at this point, now that we've done the topper, we can continue with the ribbon. I typically like to do my ribbon first, because once you have your ribbon, then you can place everything else versus trying to do the ribbon and trying to work it around ornaments and picks and things like that. So I take care of my ribbon first. Okay. So we can basically continue what we were doing before with bows. So I'm going to start with the bows again. I'm just going to show you. I know Shalita had mentioned that she wanted to find ways to use bows to kind of hide holes in the tree. So awesome. How's it going, Shalita? I see you on your tree. So looks like you are, I'm trying to get all my, so I can see everybody at the same time. Or did I lose her? Okay, maybe she'll jump back on. So we're gonna do the same thing. So now that we have our topper, again, start with your one loop, pinch, loop up, connect it right where you pinched. If you need to, but I just like to do it anyway to create a secure loop. We can just do one. Because this is a nice thick ribbon, I would do the dovetail. I just think that looks nice on here. And you can start here again. I like to do almost like a zig. Now this is where pattern and balance comes into place for me. Again, this is just what I do. But balance is a big thing when it comes to decorating the tree, because you don't want too much in one space or on one side. So it's aesthetically pleasing to the eye when you see balance, right? So from here, if I'm doing bows, it's almost like a zigzag pattern. This is my top. I will do a bow here, right? My next bow will be here. My next bow will fall down here. So it's almost like a zigzag pattern. So to the eye, you see nice balanced decor. So we're going to do that really quick. So just with this one, I'm going to do the same thing like how we used in the topper. Okay. And I'm going to use the branch of my tree to hold that ribbon in place. I'm going to let my little tail do whatever it wants to do. I do kind of like to tuck where we connected it, kind of tuck it back in the tree a little bit so it doesn't really sit on the outside. I kind of like to flip my ends up when I do that. It's really up to you. I always kind of liken it to like when I used to do hair. I used to be a licensed cosmetologist. I've since let that go when I discovered that's not something I love. I like to do it, but just not a passion. But I think some of that kind of reminds me of doing hair, you know, curling and flipping. So I find myself kind of styling my ribbon, you know, like I would do a curl, you know. If I want it to flip out, I will make it do that. So you can design your ribbon and have it to flow however you want. But I kind of like mine to flip out on the ends. We're gonna do that same thing that we did with the ribbon. Okay. So I'm just gonna do, we pretty much have the bow techniques, right? So I'm gonna kind of go through this a little bit quicker. You can play with however many loops you want. Again, it comes down to your final look, what you want to create. It's a different blue. Make sure I'm using the same ribbon. And I'm telling you, once you get that, the basic of the bow, it's really easy. Think of figure eight. That's all you're really doing. And when you hit that center, you're just twisting it and you're creating that same pattern. So I'm doing the same thing. As you see, I did not tie off the gold. I'm just picking up where I left off with the new ribbon. So once you get that part down, it becomes definitely easier. This is what I have, okay? Simple little bow here. And I'm going to connect that right where it connects in the tree. I'm going to use the branch so it looks like it's all part of that same loop. If you want to do it all together at the same time, just like I did that gold and blue, you can. But if you're not comfortable doing it that way, just do your pieces separate and then connect them to create one big bow. And I'm going to dovetail this to the same. And see also what happens, you know, if you leave some of your pieces long, they almost kind of, you can make them, you know, almost connect to what's happening here, all right? We're gonna do the same thing on the other side. Now, let me see, this was since it's been being pushed up, let me make sure this is in here. Okay, so now, as I mentioned, we started out with that zigzag. We have bow here. Now we want to bring it almost like a Z. My next bow will probably sit somewhere in here, right? Same thing. And you can really, like I said, you can just get creative with the bows, because once you have that basic starting point, you can kind of go from there. So from here, somewhere, I think will be a nice space. Okay. And again, I thank you guys so much for taking the time to come on my workshop and hopefully learn some new things. I'm very humbled by that. especially with it being my first one and having new faces. So I really appreciate you guys. And I really hope that you learn something that you can use going forward. I'm really grateful for you all. As we get ready to go into Thanksgiving, I'm thankful for y'all. Are you all preparing for that? I know for us, it's going to be a light Thanksgiving since we'll be traveling right after. But it seemed like this year, I don't know about anybody else, but this year has flown by. We are at the end, basically. It's been a very quick year. But thank God He's kept us through every day, every week, every month of it so far. And so I am grateful for that. But I pray you guys have an awesome Thanksgiving and enjoy your family and friends and take some time to just wind down. A lot of times we don't get a chance to do that because we're moving and going so much. So take the time to enjoy yourself. All right, so now I'm just going to add that bow that I just did right in the center of that one loop. And again, I use my branch as my wire. And now we have another bow. I'm gonna just turn a tree, and you see that? You have another bow. You can let this do whatever you like, want it to hang, or you can tuck it in a tree some. It's totally up to you. Okay? So again, you want to create that symmetry. Okay? And then now, since we have this Z pattern going, my next bow would be in this area. Okay? Anybody have any questions? I definitely, like I said, I know this is online. But I definitely want you guys to feel like you are a part of this. So please feel free to ask questions, feedback, any comments, or anything that you need clarity on. I'll be more than happy to go back over anything that I've shared thus far that you have questions on. I wanted this workshop to definitely be helpful, not just, you coming in and kind of watching, but I want you to ask any questions that you have. Okay. Awesome. Well, I'm so thankful for you, Kim, for jumping on, and I will be waiting for that text of your bow. I definitely want to see it. Yes, ma'am. Well, thank you for coming on. I really appreciate you. So thank you, love you. Tell the fam I said hello. And I'll be
Love you back, and safe travels to you and your family, and hello to everybody as well.
Thank you. And now,
Uh,
I don't know if everyone saw, but I will be sending out, I'm gonna try to, as long as it goes through, send out a link of the recording so you guys are able to view it later. So hopefully all of this goes well and I can grab the file. So be on the lookout. All right. Awesome. Anybody else have any questions? I know Shalita was on, unless she was decorating her tree. I don't see her. Maybe she had to jump off. So after we go through, as I said, I'm just going to create the same bows. Once you're able to get the basic of the bow making, you can really fly through it and you can continue to loop as many loops as you want so you can get a bow as big as you like. Okay. You can use as many ribbons as you like. It's totally up to you. Okay. All right. I'm gonna go ahead and add this. And of course, because this is just for the workshop purposes, I'm not decorating the whole tree all the way around. Just want to at least give you the starting point, the basics that you can start with and decorate your tree. As long as you can see the difference it makes just with starting off with simple bow, and you can create a nice look. Okay. So that's the beginning part of your pattern. And you will continue to do that all the way around your tree. So when you get around on this side, your next bow will probably be right in this area. If you have to decorate your tree all the way around, I know for me, mine goes up against the wall, so I don't have to worry about the back, but at least the side. So just think of that pattern, almost like a triangle or a Z pattern. You just want to make sure you are carrying that through so you get a nice, well-balanced pattern. So if you put one here, your next one will be, over here in this area. But do that all the way around to create a nice balance. Okay. If we want to continue, you can stop here with the ribbon and go on with your other decor if you like. But of course, I like to do a little bit more than that. So this is where you can just run your ribbon. You can bind them. I have a lighter blue. The one that we used in the tree was a little bit darker. This is like a powder blue. So now I just want to layer it. I want to lay it right on top. I'm going to pinch it. Okay. I'm going to bring it up here, somewhere near the top. Take this towards the center of the tree where you tie it. You can actually grab two branches that's nearby and twist it, almost like a bread tie. Of course, you can do something nice, a slant cut, or I call a dovetail, some people call the fishtail. And have that there. Now we can use this to kind of let it flow through the tree. Okay. Same thing. You want to create a nice loop. I'm going to turn it this way. Let the ribbon kind of flow how it wants to flow, but I like to kind of direct it so you get that nice loop. I do a pinch. I find a place between two branches, take it all the way in, and I twist it like a bread tie. And I just kind of allow this to flow how it wants to flow. I do it again. You can make these loops, always let the loops pop off the tree. You don't want them to be really tight inside the tree like that. I don't really think it gives you a nice pop, but let it come off the tree. You can connect it to where your bows are, or you can go slightly to the side of your bows. You can let that stop there. This is where your creativity comes into play. There is no right or wrong way to do this. But you do it until your eye is content with what you see. But I like to create, again, symmetry with whatever I'm doing. So whatever I do on this side, I like to kind of mimic it on the other side, or at least it have some symmetry and balance. Okay. So I'm going to bring this one in here somewhere. Again, using my branches like a bread tie and twisting it. And same thing, I want it to pop. I'm going to take it inside the tree. Don't tie it on the outside of your branch. You really don't want to show that part. Okay, you want to kind of hide where it is connected. Now allow my branches to hold that together. And again, allow the ribbon kind of to flow. Sometimes it kind of likes to go to the side, like how this did, instead of it going straight down. It kind of created a side sweep there, which is totally fine. I want to bring this down here. Okay. And this is basically what you would do all the way around your tree. I can do another loop here. I think I will. Again, it's totally up to you. And like I said, let your branches work for you. This is below where you guys can see, so. All I'm doing is cutting my ribbon here. Okay. All right, so you're starting to see that the ribbon is making this fuller and taking shape, okay? And what I've done here, I'm gonna do on the other side. And then from here, we're gonna add picks. And I think everybody knows how to add in your ornaments, but I will just show you some key things about ornament placement. And we'll go from there. Again, I really wanted this to just be just showing you some of the main basic steps that you can take to get a nice full tree. Okay. And so again, what I've done on that side, I kind of want to mimic the same thing on this side. And you guys, please let me know, those of you that still on, give me some feedback on any questions you have. Is this something that you typically do with your ribbon? Do you like to run it up and down your tree? Or I know some people kind of go around the tree. But I really like letting the ribbon pop and add some movement. So what is you guys' typical way of adding your ribbon? I would love to know. Like I said, I want this to be interactive. I don't want to just bore you, you hearing my voice. I want to hear your voices too. If you're able to jump on and let me know. What I did on that side, I'm doing the same thing over here. And of course, I always want to step back, look at your work. Anything you need to adjust, you can. And I hope those that popped off, hope you're able to join back in the Zoom. I hope it didn't lock anyone out. Okay, awesome. So you do it this way. Awesome. Yeah, I used to kind of go in the circle around the tree, but I really think that this definitely adds more dimension, more style to the tree. It's all personal preference. Okay, so now you kind of see here that what we did on one side, excuse me for walking on the camera, but what we did on one side, we did on the other. Okay, so you have a nice base here. If you want to keep adding, some people love ribbon. So if you want to keep adding, you definitely can. But here is, you can stop here. One thing that I do like to do, if you do have holes in your tree. So when I say holes, areas where there's like a gap, right? Where maybe just a regular ornament, it's not gonna hide. One of the things that I love to do, instead of just adding your ornaments on the outside of your tree, take your ornaments inside, and not just any ornaments, but any shiny glitter ornaments. So when your lights are on, your eye goes all the way inside the tree. So it just makes your tree look even fuller. But these, I love to grab these. I get these from Michael's. I have a few. Show you. I just grabbed these for my tree that I'm doing this year. These are gorgeous. You see that this will definitely add some dimension. It will catch the light really nice. So when your lights are on, this will help bounce the light around. So I love these. These are at Michael's. Yep, okay, so mine is horizontal. Yeah, it looks more elegant. Yeah, it does. Yeah, these are really nice. I grabbed both of these actually from Michael's. These were last year. And again, like I said, I like to shop sale and after Christmas because you get the biggest uh um deal. Of course, you guys know that. But these right now, I believe, are 50%, 60%, but they were $5.99, I think. But for what you get and the look of these, definitely a great deal. So something like this, you know, I would take this and kind of go inside the tree with it. Of course, I will hook it, but just for the video's sake, I would take it inside the tree so when that light hits it, you're gonna see this light up, and your eye's gonna go deep inside the tree. Same thing with these, any holes that you have. And it really depends also on the size of your tree. If you have like a 6-foot tree or 6.5-foot tree, I wouldn't use these. These might be too big, too heavy. I would say 7.5, maybe 8.5. I think it's actually called in 7.5, but anything 7.5 and up, definitely could do these on a 12-foot, but these are definitely great things that you can add in the tree to kind of help hide in the hole. I'm not able to see this, but take it inside the tree. You can bring some out of the outer part if you like, but I really like to use those big ornaments to put inside the tree, especially when they have that effect that that one does. Okay. All right. So after I do, usually I will wait, but anything for the inside, I will go ahead and tuck that in. I know someone had mentioned the what you call it, the clusters. So I'll definitely show you that. But right now, let's go ahead and go with the floral picks. I think everyone knows how to put the ornaments on. We'll do that last. I typically do that first, but I want to go over the main things first. So as I share it with you, I love picks. And this is one that I definitely love to work with because it adds some dimension to your tree. Okay. Yep. Definitely help reflects light. So yeah, glitter ones also. Yep. I have a lot of those that I use for that. So like where my bows are, sometimes I like to add just some nice pieces here. So let me turn this around so you can see what I'm putting. So like for this one, I would take something like this, as I mentioned, bend it so it has something to kind of hook onto. So when I put it in there, it's hooking on to the inside of the tree. So you can add any accent pieces. Like I said, any floral or anything that makes it pop. Like these have the glitter stems. You can add two, you can have it go. I kind of like mine to be a little abstract or asymmetrical. So I want Again, making that loop. So that way, when you stick it in, on the hold a whole lot easier. So now you can create a nice little floral design here. Okay, so I use the tree to hold this bow together, so I can hear at that area where the ribbon is folded. Let's see if I have my wire cutters. Excuse me 1 second. See if I can cut this stem. All right. So I'm using this floral stem here, and I'm going to place that. I can put that right here in the middle. Again, I'm hooking it, and that way I can just hook it in, and now you have a nice little floral display with some bling, has a nice flow and shape. It takes up a lot of space, okay? You can create that same thing when it comes to the floral and what you use. It's really, like I said, it's really up to you and what you like. Same thing. We just want to add some dimension to the tree and really help make your tree pop. Again, just looping that, find somewhere. So you don't necessarily have to wire these in again, unless you just want to. But you can kind of direct the stem to where it will stay in there for you. And again, like I said, this is your best bet. Try to get some bunches. Use these. I don't have my wire cutters, but I just have some nice sharp scissors. And I just kind of get that going there. You can just pop that off. You will have your own floral stem. And this is usually what I do when I just want to add some floral. Okay, so I'm gonna put that right in the center of that bow. So now I have almost like a floral arrangement design in the tree. And you do that all around your tree where your bows are. It really, really helps. And again, you're filling in a lot of space. You don't have to use as many ornaments unless you want. Okay, after bending these a while, they usually will pop. I had my wire cutters over here somewhere, but we're gonna make it work. All right, so here's my other bow. Get my stems and add those in there. Actually, I think that was my last one. So just gonna use a different one. Of course, you would use what you have, but you can use any floral, or let me do this. I showed you guys these. You can usually find these all throughout the season if you kind of like the look of these. I like it because it kind of drapes off the tree. I'm just going to show you another look you can use with these. Same thing. And you really can find different seasons. They just have different colors. I forget what they're called, but Michael usually have them. But they give a nice look as well. Don't know if you guys are able to see that. Probably not as good. And you also can do something like that. So you can really play now. when I was talking about greenery, to give your tree some dimension, I like to use greenery picks. You don't have to necessarily use like the Christmas greenery picks. These are spring, summer floral picks. And let me just show you what these kind of do when you're adding. It just makes the tree look alive to me. Again, personal preference, but to me, I like more like organic design. Just adding a few of greenery hits kind of just breaks up that tree, especially if you have one that doesn't have dimension in the branches. If you don't have like a mixed pine or something like that in the branch, definitely add in some fun and kind of break it up so you do get some dimension. It just brings something unexpected to the tree. Like I said, to me, it just makes the tree come alive instead of it just being that artificial look. But can you guys see what that's doing to the tree? I might have to bring you up a little bit. Let me see. Okay, are you guys able to see that a little bit better? Okay, so you can add these greenery picks. And you want to shape them when you put them in the tree as well. Again, this will depend on your theme, of course. This may not fit everybody's theme or look for the tree that you're going for. But if you are going something for a nice, soft, organic look to your tree, again, you don't have to use eucalyptus or anything like this. You could get some of the winter greenery, the pine stems and things like that. And you can definitely give it a whole nother look. Do you guys see that? Yeah, definitely, Miss Bonita, give it a try. It does, I definitely think it just gives the tree a new look versus like I said, just the artificial branches. To me, it just makes the tree kind of come alive. And there is really no formality. I'm still kind of using, if you look closely, I'm still really using that zigzag pattern to kind of get that coverage. You see that? So I'm always, even though I'm kind of sticking it in different places, I am thinking of balance, but at the same time, I am looking for holes in the tree that could be filled. So yes, that is definitely something that you can do. Okay. All right. Now see, you see this big hole right here? Looks like a dark hole. I'm gonna bring this up a little bit. I think I went too far in the tree with this one, the big one. But of course, you know, you can add your ornaments and stuff. But you see the difference that what that big ornament just made? It kind of helps fill in that hole. But this is a nice start to your tree. And if you want to add more, you can. Okay. And just for the next few minutes, I'm gonna add a couple of clusters on here so you can get the idea of clustering ornaments. And I think it's definitely an easy way to fill in your tree. Okay. Get everything close here. And thank you all so much. I did have the workshop from 4:30 to 6:30, so we have it timing. I'm gonna go ahead and show you how to cluster and then show you basically the basics of doing your wreath as well. And to be honest, it's some of the same basic ideas when you're decorating your wreath. Okay. Now we're going to do clusters. Now this is floor wire that I have got from Dollar Tree. I see my sister is on here very late, but I want to talk about her. Hey, sis. Thank you for jumping on. Like I mentioned to the other ladies, I'm going to try to get the link to this so you can watch it if you miss some of the things. So I'll try to email that out just in case. Prayerfully that works as easy as it said it was going to. So, all right. So when we're clustering floor wire, it depends, maybe a foot or 18 inches or something like that. Depends on how long you want your cluster to be. So I'm just going to cut some of my ribbon. Now this is where I like to use like any shiny, when it comes to ornaments, I definitely like different textures, shiny, glitter, more of a matte solid. Even these are like clear with some design on it, just to kind of break it up. So you definitely can play with your ornaments, but I definitely think adding different textures versus going all glitter or going all solid or matte, adding those different texture ornaments will definitely help bring it to another level. So all I did was bring my wire through the loop and I'm just twisting it around. And now I'm just going to alternate. So I alternate with sizes, with colors, with textures. There's really no wrong way to do it. You just alternate your colors. So I have some blues here. Okay. That's very similar to the blue I'm using. So I'm just going to alternate and feed that through. You can alternate the colors, like I said. I have different sizes, even different, this is like a shiny blue. You're just playing with what you have. And you just kind of go with your eye. And you keep doing that. You continue to do that and you can create a nice cluster. Okay. You can make it as long as you want. We have some lighter blues. I forgot about these, but I have some lighter blues that I can add on here. Okay, so I'm just going to add this one on here. And then what we can do, I don't need this much wire. And I'll cut some of the wire off. And all I'm going to do is just wire this around a branch. Again, zigzag pattern. Okay, you also want to look where there's holes. So of course I want to start somewhere at the top. But for clusters, you really want to focus on filling in spaces. That's really what they're there for. You can maneuver them around a little bit. Okay. And you see how that just filled in that whole little area right here. And we can create You continue to create those. I'm just gonna do a few of those. Again, I know everyone knows how to put ornaments on the tree, but I do want to quickly go over, which I really have done everything else when I was talking about balance, creating balance and using that zigzag pattern. So your color is not sitting in one spot. You don't have too much color in one spot. So you can make your clusters as big as you want. Some people, they do them and really make a garland out of them. So since I have that one, I can fill in this hole even beside this big ornament here to kind of also help fill in the space. Let me make sure you guys can see. So I place that here. Okay, and you can make as many, again, make as many as you want. But I would suggest, find some nice, if you have the tree that can support the big ornament, find some nice ornaments. These aren't as big as the other ones, but even some, this size can help fill in some holes. So you don't want to go with smaller ornaments all over. Try to use different sizes, and that will help kind of bring in some dimension and layers to your tree versus just having the standard size ornament for all of your ornaments. Definitely break up the size, and it will help with filling in spaces. Any questions? I know I've been talking. Miss Katina or Miss Bernetta, do you have anything, any questions or anything that you had in mind? Isha, mom, anybody? I said, I don't want to just be talking your head off. Definitely want this to be interactive so you guys feel comfortable to ask any questions, or if I need to slow down or whatever it is. I definitely want you guys to get the gist of the main things that you can take back and implement. That's easy, so you can create a nice look on your tree.
I think that'd be a good thing to do for garland. You mentioned garland earlier. That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Something different,
Yeah, you can.
like the stairs or over a doorway or something, and you can mix in greenery and stuff with it. You can really fix it. Something to make it personal.
Yeah, I think garland definitely. It does take a lot to make especially if you're doing a large garland. But I think if you're using bigger ornaments, it will help with that too. But yeah, garland, a lot of people use it for garland. It's really pretty. I just never done it. All right, so again, the zigzag pattern, I have a cluster here, cluster here. This is a nice open space. I don't know if you guys can see that. That could use. So again, still looking for holes, but I'm still using that pattern to help me with balance. Okay, of course that one will roll 3. So still I don't know how that came off. I'm gonna put it right back on here. Okay. And that's gonna help fill those holes. So just those few clusters. And imagine if you, add several more and add one here or just fill in more holes. It will definitely give you a nice look. And then of course, just going in, ornaments like this, as I mentioned, take them inside your tree. So I see a hole here because when you have ornaments that help reflect light, especially anything like your shiny ornament, when you turn your lights on, these ornaments are going to pick up the light And it's going to draw your eye in. So of course, bring some on the outside of the tree. You want to take them in, just like how we talked about how we put the lights. We alternated them in and out the tree. Do that. Another tip, when I'm decorating my tree, when it comes to ornaments, this is just me. It may not be for everybody, but I decorate by color. So I will do all of my, if I have, let's just say 3 colors, I will do all of my golds first, put them on the tree so I can make sure they are spaced. I will go with the next color, just say blue. I'll go and put my blue in. So that way I can kind of see the placement of all of my ornaments. So I don't have a whole lot more, one color on one side and another color, not so heavy on the other side. It helps me with balance. So I go color by color. So that way I kind of see where everything is flowing. I find myself getting a little confused if I try to use do more than one color at a time. But that's a personal preference. It just helps me with balance. Do you all do that? Okay, Ms. Bernetta, awesome. When you put on your ornaments, do you tend to do one color at a time, or do you just grab and go?
I definitely, I try to do one at a time, but I ended up just grabbing and going.
What about everybody else? Like I said, it helps me. It's like overwhelming for me. I guess that just like that, it's that decorator's mind. I don't know, but I have to see where everything is going, so I know that my placement is good.
Yeah, I be trying to visualize it before I put it on the tree.
So Ms. Bernetta, she says she's a grab and go, so now she knows better. Okay, awesome.
It's smart to do it that way, Definitely get
Yeah.
less overwhelmed
Yeah,
when it start looking great.
yeah. So you trying to figure out where all your colors are, and so it definitely helps me and the way my brain works. I need to make sure that everything is safe. So again, taking some of those nice ornaments, the shiny, glittery ones, taking them inside the tree. You guys can see all of this. I'm again not decorating the whole tree, of course, but just wanted to show you by just taking some of those in. Like I would even go in, even where we put the big one. I see a hole and deeper inside. And I'm gonna take it inside there. Now, of course, I'm gonna bring in some of my colors. And as you see, as you do that, again, you can kind of see where all of your colors are. It's just a quick tip for me. As I said, it helps me in the way my brain works. I need to see where all my color is. So now I just want to kind of give a basic look. I can be heavy on ornaments at times. You don't have to be. Some people don't like a whole lot of ornaments. Yeah, some more prep. Take the basics, go from there. And again, I'm looking at holes, but I'm also still keeping that pattern. Because it really is all about the balance. Because your eye automatically is drawn to certain things when you see it. So if anything is off balance, that's like the first thing your eye is going to see. So when you want to create nice look. When think about your balance. So again, playing with the colors. Let's do color by color, so it helps me. I'm just gonna stop there. So you kind of get a look. If you continue to add ornaments or you want to, add picks or whatever, you can take it up a notch from here. Okay. All right. Any thoughts? What you guys think about the tree thus far, what we've done, the step? Anything that you would do to the tree that we did here? Anything different that you think that will help? But again, when you get that ribbon, you can really be creative with the ribbon. Okay. So this is the basics. Now I don't know how it's gonna look with the camera. We'll see what it looks like with the lights. We didn't really get a chance to do the top, so no the top because we had to top off the tree. But imagine, the top being lit. You have a nice full coverage. Awesome. Good, Miss Vanetta. Yeah, I think you would definitely see a difference, adding the greenery. It just gives it a totally different look. So that is the basics of the tree decorating. So we went over fluffing your tree, how to put the lights on your tree, the different patterns, and how to place your ribbon, how to create a simple bow, and using floral, greenery, using balance when it comes to your ornaments. And just a tip on how to place your ornaments just to make sure you get a nice full coverage. So let me see if we can, I think you have a pretty good view. I know I didn't do the whole entire tree, but you can see the majority of the tree here. So I think it came out nicely, especially if we would have put lights all the way through. But because
And Keelia, it is, I mean, it's important too to use the right size ribbon. You know what I'm saying? You
yeah,
have to, and to have the variation is really good. I mean, but you have to, accept mix it up so that way you have the variety and it just brings out the look when you do like your layering. It's important to have the right size to do that. Well, the right size in comparison to your size of the tree.
right. Yeah,
Yeah.
this would be really heavy on a 6-foot tree or a 5-foot or a 4. Definitely don't want to do that. So yeah, definitely want to keep that in mind when choosing your ribbon, just like choosing your ornaments. You don't want to go too big on a smaller tree. So, and then we did mention about using different sizes of ribbon just to kind of break up your ribbon designs and your bows. So yeah, definitely keep that in mind. So awesome. So that is our tree. And we only have a few more minutes, so I'm not going to hold you all very long. We talked about doing a quick wreath. So if you guys don't mind, I'm just going to place you on hold so I can get this set up really quick. Awesome. We know what, Miss Katina. Thank you so much for joining. I really appreciate you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And we only have about 15 minutes for this. So I'm just gonna go over, it's basically the same thing that we talked about with the tree, just gonna apply it to the wreath. So let me grab my stand. Just give me a few moments. All right, and make sure okay, looks like you have a good shot. All right, so we're gonna quickly go over wreath decorating. All right, so same thing, when you have a wreath, fluff your wreath. I literally touch every branch, star pattern, right? And I'm doing it kind of fast, but all I'm doing, I'm straightening out each wreath. Okay, and the wreath automatically kind of has a flow. So you can see this one is kind of going this way. That's what we're going to do. Okay. And I'm just going to kind of fluff this out a little bit. And you, again, you are really applying the same basics to your wreath. So you want to fluff. If you want to add lights to your wreath, you can. I love the battery operated twinkle light. You can definitely do that. Okay. So I just quickly kind of fluffed it out, but you want to bring your, all the little bristles out. It's a nice shape, okay? And for those of us that were after, came in after the bow, I'm going to go over bow decorating really quick. I'm actually missing a size, but for the sake of the video, this may not be the size you want to use, but you could. Actually, for this size, I will use this to kind of weave throughout the tree. I mean, the tree, the wreath. We're done with the tree. We're talking about the wreath now. So again, I like to dovetail my ribbon, okay? I will pinch, use your branches on the wreath to help you. You don't have to wire it unless you want, but I use this and I literally do like, I get two, I go in between two, put in between two of the branches and make sure you see. So I'll put it in between two branches and I will grab it and I will twist tie them. Literally twist tie it around the ribbon. So that holds my ribbon in place, okay? Same thing like we did the tree. Nice loop, and we can pinch. Go in between, use the branches to help you. Some people like to use the mesh. You definitely could if you like mesh. I typically don't. I'm really more of a ribbon type person, but you get the same effect with mesh too. Okay. Now I'm going to, I want it to look like a bow or something. So I'm going to leave that there. Excuse me for crossing over. Same thing. I'm going to dovetail my ribbon. I want my top to kind of pop. Like I said, same concept. Thinking about balance. There's so much you can do with wreath designing. I mean, there's really no one way at all. But I just wanted to share some basics with you. So that way you have a starting point and then you could kind of add to your wreath. But as long as you have the foundation, you can make it however you like, so. Okay. So again, same concept what we talked about with your loops. Okay. I want to create a nice bow up here. Okay. So this is where we're going to do a nice big bow at the top. Okay. So I'm going to go over this a little bit slower for those that didn't see it when we did the topper. Again, I like the dovetail. That's basically just folding it and cutting it at an angle. I like to pinch Give a few inches at the top, pinch it. Okay, create a loop. Okay, however big you want your bow to be, but I pinch it and bring it together between my fingers. Okay, especially if you're dealing with the two-sided ribbon. This is where you want to do a twist. So you bring the top of your ribbon back on the outside. Same thing, we create that loop, pinch it and bring it back together. Because this is such a big, thick ribbon, I don't want to do any more loops. You can do one and stop there. But because I want to do a nice bow, I'm just going to do there. Okay, now, for the sake of showing you all, you can use a pipe cleaner or you can use 4-wire. Just wrap that around where you have it pinched. Get a nice tight fold and twist it. Okay, take this bow. You can go ahead and attach it. Take it down to the bottom of that branch and just wrap your twist tie around. Okay, and then bring that back out. Okay, kind of let it, you can shape it however you want it to go. Since mine kind of just fell that way, I'm going to let it stay that way. I apologize if I'm hitting the mic, I'm sorry. Now I'm going to add to that bow. As soon as I find my scissors. I'm going to be respectful of everybody's time. We have about 10 minutes left. Same thing. Only because, I mean, if you don't like that, you can definitely go at an angle. I like to leave a little piece out, loop under, twist, loop under. I only have a little bit, that was the end of my ribbon, so I'm just gonna let it in there, okay? Let that be my bottom. Now you can definitely twist tie and attach it if you want, but I'm gonna continue it. So you basically, even though you're changing your ribbon, you just pick up from where you left off. So just as if I was continuing with this ribbon, pinch, loop, twist, right? And I'm doing that because I want my printed side of my ribbon to show. Loop it again, pinch, and just twist it. And the reason I'm twisting because I want this to be on the outside. The back side of this is solid. I don't want that to show. Okay. And we do as many as you like. I think I'm going to do 4. Again, there is no wrong way. You just do what you want to create. Now you can, again, for the sake of the video, I'm going to use my wire here. I'm going to do a really hard twist here. So your bow is nice and secure. Now I like to put it in here first and I will play with, I'll find the center. You just want to use the branches to help you hold that bow in place. So from here, you see you already have something to work with. So now I just kind of move my ribbon in place, however I want it. And you just, continue to play with it until you get the look that you want. And you already have a really pretty ribbon to work with. So you guys see that? You already have a nice base. Okay. And now, because you have now, again, this is totally up to you. You can make more bows, of course. I think bows definitely add. You don't have to make it as big. But if you want to add a smaller bow here to the side, you definitely could. So I'm just going to do something simple. I'm going to do a 1 loop, twist. Again, the 1 loops definitely, as simple as it is, it still gives an effect. 1 loop on that. This is a lighter ribbon, only because I just used all my darker blue. So we're going to use this one. And I might want to do 3 loops on this one. Odd numbers are always good, right? And without using the ribbon, I can go in here. I mean, without using the wire, I can go in here, find a branch of this wreath, find 2 to use almost like a bread tie. And you just work it until you kind of like what you see. And then I can cut this. I don't want it long, so I'm just going to cut it at an angle. But you see the fullness that you're already getting, and you don't even have to go this full. Excuse me. You don't even have to go that full. If you wanted to stop at that top bow, you could have and just added ornaments. But because I like to be a little extra sometimes, we're going to add a little bit more. 1 simple loop bow. Leave some at the top, 1 loop, okay? Twist. You want to pinch it and hold it together. You can cut that off. And then we're going to add this. Still leave your tail here just so you have something to pop off from the bow. And I did 3 loops, so I'm going to do the same thing. And again, when you're doing this, don't try to shape your bow while you are putting it together, because you can lose your what you're holding on to, and it can cause you to actually lose what you just did. So shape it once you get it secured and in place. But when you're going back and forth, just think about that figure 8 motion and go from there. So now that it's in the wreath, I can play with it, I can shape it. Get the look that we want. But you see that is nice and full just with the ribbon. Okay, it's totally up to you what you want to do. So since we use you can, at this point, if you feel comfortable, you can definitely wire any more decor like floral picks, or you can hot glue. I just did this, but again, because I like to switch my stuff out and I don't necessarily need it to be permanent, I just use the wreath. I'm gonna put this in here. I'm gonna find an opening where I can slip this in. And make that almost like the center of my bow. So it kind of goes with my tree. Okay, you can do that. You can just make a floral situation up here. For the sake of time, since we are almost at our time, I'm just gonna go ahead and show you still. Same thing like we did the tree. I can break these apart real easily. But just adding some greenery touches. So you're not just getting that one-dimensional look. Adding some more greenery picks, eucalyptus, and just let it kind of flow how it's going to flow because you want it to look organic, if that's the look you're going for. And then you can go in here, again, use the wire and your wreath to hold the branches in. But even after this, you can go in, you can add your ornaments. You can add more of your full picks. But the rest is totally up to you how you want to finish it. But this at least gives you a starting point, a good base to start with. Again, I like my things just to look, have a natural look to them. And these are really easy to shape. Okay. And that's basically your base. You can definitely stop there, but you can create clusters. Okay. And again, I want to make sure I'm respectful of everybody's time. So I know we're at 6:30, but you can create the clusters. You can put some here around your main focal point, which is the top. You can put some there. If you wanted to put the floral, put more floral picks there, you could. But like in these holes, definitely you can add some ornaments. I'm gonna put them in, but just hold them. If you did a cluster of 3, okay, you can definitely do something. I just want to give you an idea. But in the meantime, anybody have any questions, comments? Again, I will send out a survey in the next couple of days because I want to know your feedback. Again, this is my first workshop, so I want to grow from here. So your honest feedback is definitely important to me. So look out. I have everybody's email. So look out for that in the next couple of days. It is anonymous, so I will not know who put what. So please give me your honest feedback because if I do this again, I want to bring something even better than what I did tonight. So as you see here, just adding that nice little cluster and imagine just adding that all throughout, you will get a nice full wreath and something that will accent our tree very well. So that's what we have. All right, so any questions, any feedback, please let me know your thoughts on tonight. I definitely want to know if you enjoyed this. Can you include your social media in the email? I sure will. Yes, I sure will. Again, there you and there was the other young lady that came on. I definitely appreciate you guys joining in, taking a chance because you don't know me. You just saw the link in the Eventbrite and decided to join. So that definitely means a lot. And I really hope that you were able to grab something tonight. So I will definitely include my social media information. So hopefully we can keep in touch and you stay on standby for any future workshops I do. I'll be more than happy to have you. Thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you so much, Ms. Bernetta. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right. Good, good. I'm glad you learned something, sis. I'm glad. So like I said, I'm gonna try to get a copy of this sent out to you and then those that weren't able to join, just so they didn't miss out. So hopefully that goes through. So thank you so much, everybody. I truly, truly, truly appreciate all your support. Pray that you have an awesome Thanksgiving holiday if you're traveling. I pray Psalms 91 that you're safe as you travel. Enjoy your family during the Christmas season, and you all have a blessed, blessed evening. So thank you so much, and hopefully I'll see you next time. Thank you. Good night, everybody.
Night.
All right. Love you, Ma. Love
Love you
y'all.
too. Bye bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.